up? What's up? What's up? What up, gents? How y'all doing today? Welcome to live stream number 13 of the Sensational Gent. And while I wait for a couple people to come in, more people to come in, it's hard to believe that we're at live stream number 13 right now, right? Like, this is insane to me that I've done 13 of these things. To be fair, one or two of them didn't go so well. So it's technically like live stream number 10. But you know what? Really happy for this live stream for you guys and stuff like that. Hey Wanda, how you doing, baby? Hold on. Let me so yeah, this is crazy. You know, I'm really grateful to you guys for this. Like I said, more people coming in, but I'm gonna get the show going because that's the way I do this. Okay, just in case you watch this later. But so, you know, I'm asking the question: have you ever found yourself being used by people? Have you found yourself being taken advantage of before? I mean, is this something that you've experienced before? And most people can say yes. Okay? Most people can say yes to this. All right? Like, even if you have good people in your life and nobody's trying to take advantage of you through your friends and your family, if that's happened, that is great. If you've never had like kid in the schoolyard try to take advantage of you and take your candy, or you know, exchange candy, and you know you're getting a bum deal. You know, like maybe your candy is better than theirs, and they want to do a swap, and you get the crappy candy. You know what I mean? Maybe you get what candy I hate. I hate what's that? Like licorice, black licorice. That's disgusting. I can't stand it. I hate the way it tastes. Okay, so if I got exchanged for like say Starburst or something for some black licorice, then that's a bad deal. All right. So today on the Sensational Gent, we are going to be discussing some stories that I got from the internet. Specifically, there's an article that I got that pulled stories from Reddit. And so I like this because it's going to be real brief. But we're going to talk about some instances of bad friendships, bad relationships, what you should look for, and how to move forward from these type of toxic or bad relationships. Okay. And I'll also take your comments, and we'll discuss all of this on today's episode of the Sensational Gent. And listen, here at the Sensational Gent now, I want to make sure that this is a place that we have positive discussions and that we, you know, share ideas so that we can all get better together, that we can all learn together, we can all grow from each other, and then that we can go ahead and obviously what's the motto of this show is to live our best lives, right? So take a sip of this real quick. So I made a smoothie, whatever. So there's no drink, there's no alcohol in this. This is actually a smoothie. I decided I was going ahead and be healthy today. And then probably after I get done with this live stream, probably going to go to the gym afterwards. So if you don't know, I also have a second YouTube channel, which is called Sensational Fitness and Wellness. There's some really good information over there on sensational fitness and wellness that you know, I'm very proud of. I don't put out a lot of videos on that channel because there's a I don't put out a lot of videos on that channel because there's a lot like there's a lot that goes into it. When I make those videos, I want to make sure that I'm putting out a really good product, because I want to make sure that, like, you know, people talk about health and fitness, and there's millions and millions upon information and stuff. And I noticed the one thing that I realized about some of these health and fitness channels and shows is that some of those things just unrealistic to do. Here it is, you're working towards your fitness goals and stuff like that, and it just seems like they're not coming from a place of, you know, it just seems almost impossible. So I said, listen, I want to put out really good information on sensational fitness and wellness, such that you feel like you can achieve your fitness goals if you listen to it. So I try to make it fact-based, so it takes me a while to do the research, but also want you guys to do your fitness goals. So if you're not subscribed to that channel, subscribe to Sensational Fitness and Wellness. Again, try to put out a video a week, but the reason why it takes so long is because I want that to be a good product, if you will. All right. So again, as always, if you go ahead and leave comments, whatever, I'll shout you out and you know, stuff like that. Also, if you have any comments, I will respond and answer to them. Or, you know, again, I want this to be a discussion today. I want this to be a discussion because this is one of those topics that even if you don't really have people that's in your life like that that's using you, if you go to buy certain products and goods, don't they try to take advantage? Don't they try to get the upper hand on you? Right. So this is about just in general, you know, dealing with people trying to take advantage of it and use. But the stories that we're going to talk about today is specifically about people. But I'm telling you right now that it basically covers all types of people that you're going to come across that are going to try to use you, that are going to try to manipulate you. Okay, they're going to try to manipulate you. So don't let nobody manipulate you. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Okay, don't let nobody take your cornbread. It's your cornbread. Okay. So do we have any comments in the chat? Anybody? Nobody speaking in the chat? Okay, whatever. All good. Let's get on to this today. Okay. So whenever y'all come in, I'll start giving shout outs, but let's get into today's topic, okay? So we're going to do story time. I'm going to pull up, that's messed up. I thought I already had this stuff pulled up. I apologize. Oh, there we go. All right, we're where we should be. So I got this article from stylist.co.uk. So I will have a link down in the description of this. And so I want to go through some of these stories. I'm not going to go through all of them because it talks about 19 people. I have a good amount that I pulled up because they're really short stories, but I want you guys to get the gist of what people do. This is just show you human nature. And this is random people that put out these stories. And these were some of the better ones, obviously. I don't think they were all good, but I think that they will get to the point. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you guys can read along. Okay. And so again, this is from Stylist Magazine. I got to, let me go back. I have to actually enable sharing my screen before I, before I go ahead and try to share the screen. So there we go. Hey, look at that. Let's do it that way. Okay. So this is Stylist Magazine. It's actually, this article came out about 4 years ago. Okay, but it doesn't really matter because the human nature of people is relatively the same, if you will. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go bring it down to the first part. Now, there's a bunch of stuff in the beginning, but I've already kind of explained a lot of this stuff. So in the first part of our first article, it says, I realized that I only ever heard from her when she wanted something, says John Gee. I stopped reaching out to her as an experiment and didn't hear from her for close to a year. And when she called me because she wanted help fixing a broken piece of furniture, or when she called me because she wanted help fixing a broken piece of furniture, got a lot better at identifying the fake friends after all that. So this first story right there, like, do you have somebody that when that you've had in your life or you've seen or at least heard of, because it's not even just that you're going through it, but being able to identify these or having seen this, you can help somebody else. You can help one of your friends going through exactly one of these situations. But this one is one of the most common ones where somebody is using you for something. Okay, they're using you for something that you have or something that you're doing for them. Okay. Let me go to the comments real quick before I get any deeper in this. So I want to say welcome. Let's go here. So welcome, Sam and Kat. Right, I appreciate you coming to the Sensational Gent. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Wanda, for inviting them. I am glad you all are here. Again, here on the Sensational Gent, it's designed to be a motivational channel. It's designed to be an inspirational channel, and also, you know, I do a little humor. Whenever I joke around, your boy like to joke around. Okay, that's what I do. But when we're here, I like to get into deeper discussions because I want to have discussions, robust discussions around topics that we can all learn from and we can all grow from. That's part of also being inspirational, that we can learn from each other. All right. And so, and then of course, Wanda, thank you very much for inviting your friends there. I really appreciate that. Listen, I hope that you all get something from this, and let's get right back into it. So in this situation, you have someone that is using this gentleman for what he can do for them. Who hasn't had that before, where you only hear from somebody when they need something from you? Now listen, I want to make sure I make sure something is clear. If your good friends need you in their time of need, there is absolutely nothing wrong with helping people that you love and care for. If anything, I would say that's a duty to be able to help someone that you love and care for. Why wouldn't you do that? You said you love them. If you love somebody, you be there for them when they need you. However, if you don't hear from a person except for when they're only calling when they need something from you, then at that point in time, they're showing you their colors. They're showing you who they are, you know, by their actions. All right. So I don't need to beat that one over. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. This one says the traitor to the sisterhood. All right. My best friend of 6 years started dating my ex a month after we broke up, explains Enchantment. Soon, she started to suspect that we were still hooking up and spread rumors that I was a homewrecker to our mutual friends. Okay, so she had a best friend, 6 years, started dating her ex after just a month after they broke up. let's just unpack that one. Okay, there are like certain unspoken rules that you don't really go and talk to somebody's ex. You know, you let a little time pass before you start talking to somebody ex, or you be man enough or woman enough to go to them and get their permission to talk to their ex, right? And I'll tell y'all a story later about something that happened to me with one of my, a person I consider a brother, kind of did something similar like this to me. But let's finish the story first. I was initially planning on talking to her to clear up any misunderstandings, but then found out that they had started hooking up while I was still dating him. So she was scared of being cheated on as well. I cut her out of my life, and since then I realized how toxic our entire our friendship was. That is crazy. Okay? So here it is. She is mad that the dude is hooking up with her again because they got together. But the thing was, they was already hooking up before y'all even broke up. That wasn't your friend, baby girl. That wasn't your friend. And that dude is just as culpable. Because look, I mean, listen, you notice when you see these movies and shows and everything, everybody want to beat each other up. What do? You see on there, you go to the other person, right? Like the other person that got with your significant other, and then you go try to beat them up. Why? That's not the problem. The person that's laying next to you is the problem. You getting mad at that person, like, well, I'm gonna deal with you, but I'm gonna deal with them. Well, why? That person, and listen, I'm not saying it's not wrong what they did, but that person just took the opportunity that was in front of them. Is that not what we're talking about? People that take advantage? I'm not saying it's right, but you got to check the person next to you. Don't get yourself involved with somebody you don't know. You tell them, look, this is something I got to deal with. You need to go about your business. I ain't got no beef with you. Okay? Because that's how you get yourself caught up. Let's jump in these comments real quick. See what y'all got. Blessed Mommy, thank you very much for being here. Yes, I hope you enjoy this conversation. I hope that you that you check this out, check me out, and whatever. And thank you for being here. Neil, I have a story to tell. Sorry I'm late. All good, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here anyway. Thank you very much. All right. Better late than never, right? We're still going to keep the party going. We're going to still keep the discussion going. All right. Let's jump back into this real quick. Okay. So here it is. You about to get mad at somebody, your significant other or the person you're seeing or dating has to leave that door open for them, somebody else to even think they can slip through. Okay. It ain't like, when you start hearing people make the excuse, it just happened. No, it didn't just happen. There was already some type of disconnect going on for that to just happen. Anyway, we'll get more deeper. I want to make sure we get back onto these topics. So we're going to skip a couple. We're going to go to number 5. I don't want to read this whole one, but I'm going to get into it a little bit. Actually, I put number 5. Yeah. Well, this one has some obscenity, so I'm just going to try to break it down real short. I'm in a long-term, long-distance relationship and getting to immigrate to the country my boyfriend is from to be with him. Okay? Long-term, long distance, and she's about to make the trek to go live and be with the dude she's with. Now, her BFF was going on about how I needed to get some action and how she knew some guys that could help. And she told her, she said, look, I don't cheat. And you should drop this line of discussion. So that's good on her. Look, hey, look, nah, it's all good. I don't need that in my life. I love my boyfriend who he live in another country. We've been doing this long distance relationship. We're going to make it work. I'm moving there to be with that person. Okay. So instead, she started going about, so anyway, she started basically trying to get her to cheat. Look, I'm just going to break this down because it's really kind of whatever. You can read on the screen what's on there. But she told her, she kept trying to get her to cheat. Then she talked about you should get with another girl. And then, she tried to get her drunk so that they can make out so she can get her to cheat. I don't understand why she was just so hell-bent on this. And so she went on to try to get her to cheat. Then she tried to get her to cheat with her. And then she said, I haven't talked to her since. Not that she got the hint immediately. She actually messaged my mom saying that she was just trying to help me out. And it would have just have been just sex. I guess I said that word. Whatever. Point being is, what kind of friend is that? What kind of friend do you have that is going to encourage you to cheat? Now, listen, the reason why I think I left this story on, because I took it off originally, but the reason why I left it on, not because of the messiness of it, because you have the type of friends, or you may know someone, or you may have had the type of friends, or had in your life the type of friends that have no problem with you doing something wrong, that they are encouraging you to do something that you don't want to do, or they're trying to encourage you and put you in a situation Oh, I just realized there's probably been an echo going on the whole time. I am so sorry, y'all. Put you in a situation that you're gonna like. What? I guess how am I trying to put this? A good friend of yours, someone that loves you and cares for you, isn't going to try to put you in bad situations. Now, this woman apparently was happy with her dude, with her man, and your friend is going to try to break up your happiness. So you all know, I know I've got a lot of grown folk up in here. Y'all heard the statement, y'all heard the phrase, misery loves company, like crabs in a barrel. It's like you happy, you doing your thing, you trying to make your life better, and then you have people that come along that don't want to see you do well. Those are the type of people. Need to get them out your life. Let's go to the chat real quick and see what we got going on here. Wanda says, just wicked. People put too much effort on the wrong things. Absolutely. And not only just the wrong things, Wanda, people put effort into the wrong people. That's why we're having that discussion today. We're having this discussion today is because it's not just that we put our energy into the wrong things and situations. We also put our energy in wrong people, right? That's what this discussion is about. It's not just about the people. It's about making sure that you're cognizant of the situations you're in. Right here at the Sensational Gent, we talk about living your best life. We talk about doing what you need to do so that you can hit that next level. Well, you can't do that if you're not in favorable situations. You can't do that if you don't have the right people banking next to you. But we'll get to that later. Let's go on to the next one, the next story. We're going to jump to number 6. The absolute child. So she Feist, whatever says, she threw a childlike temper tantrum in front of a store while shopping in the mall because I refused to date her ex-boyfriend after she set me up with him. Her excuse? Well, I would date your hypothetical ex and you'd have to get over it. So again, what did we talk about earlier? What kind of friend is this? First of all, any friend that is an adult, which it sounds like they were young people, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, who throws a tantrum? Maybe you know some people like that. Maybe you got some family members like that. Maybe you got a couple people that have come across in your time that you've seen like that. Okay? But who throws a tantrum, first of all? We're going to get into that subject more because like we're going to talk about all these different scenarios. But I want to get through these stories. But it just sounds to me that in this scenario, she was trying to push her ex off. And it's like, are you trying to just get rid of your ex? I can understand that. Hey, look, I want to get my ex off my back. So, but why would you give your ex to your best friend so that they could be together? That don't make no sense. Or give yourself a hypothetical that if it's somebody that you like that they can get, that you can get with them later. You know what I mean? Like this is messy. That's messy. And that's what messy is what you do not need in your life. If you got mess in your life, you got messy folk in your life, you know what to do with them. Next story. It was my fault, recalls very, very plain. 6 years ago, I got strung out on pills pretty badly, and she tried to help me get clean. One day, this was a friend of this guy. One day, her new debit card came in the mail while she was at work. I decided to activate it and borrow some money without asking. I guessed the password on her computer and went through her files and found her tax records and obtained her social security number so I could activate the debit card. Then I went to the ATM and tried to use her normal PIN, but it wasn't right. So I freaked out. I cut up her debit card and threw it out the window while driving down the highway. She eventually moved out and we stopped talking. I was a terrible human being. Well, this is one of those scenarios where you may have a friend or a person in your life who's strung out dealing with substance abuse, dealing with drugs, right? Dealing with a whole bunch of demons. And then they are willing to go so far as they would rob you or take from you. They love you. I don't doubt that they don't love you, but that them substances got a hold of them. Now, I think a number of us are old enough to remember back in the day, the crack epidemic and stuff like that. And I'm sure we either had or knew somebody that maybe had to deal with substance abuse. It ain't got to be just crack. It could be anything. It could be alcohol. It could be pills. Was it the opioid crisis that just recently happened? It could be anything. Those are the type of friends I would say don't necessarily give up on, but try to get them help. And she did try to get this person help. But at some point, when you give them all the help you can and it's not working and they're not taking the responsibility to get themselves clean, then you got to cut them people out your life, because you can't have people just going up in your purse and stealing your stuff or going through your mail. That's fraud. That's grand theft right there. You can have that person sent away for a very long time. Okay, let's get to the chat and see what's going on. Neil says, yes, people have to be careful of the people that is around them. Yes, Neil. That's what we gonna hit on today. And listen, again, this person didn't mean no harm. I mean, this person was somebody that they tried to get help that they knew had a problem, and they tried to help them, and they still used them and took advantage of their kindness. We'll talk about that as well. Wanda says, be careful of the company you keep. Absolutely. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. You do have to watch the company you keep. It will dictate your success or failure. That's why this subject is so important to talk about. Neil says, true, Wanda, true. Let's get back to it. I'm going to skip a couple stories here, you guys. Sorry about that. Throwaway, blah, 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 says, my ex's humor revolved entirely around belittling and making fun of others. He was one of my closest friends for around 8 months. 8 months? Okay. For that 8 months, they were his closest friend. Okay. But right near the end, he joked about something that made me feel like a piece of bleep. At that point, I decided to start trying to cut him out of my life in the least aggressive way possible. Listen, if you meet or know someone, look, there are certain friends that I know and that I have that we joke around and we bust each other's chops. Most of the time, I don't do that type of friendship, right? I don't do that type of friendship where like I gotta belittle you or put you down all the time. Again, certain friends I joke around like that because they do it to me, but I don't do it because they do it to me. We just have an understanding. Like it's not something we do all the time. Do you understand? I make it a point not to like joke about that kind of stuff too much to a person where I bring them down, because I think that like I understand how that feels, and it doesn't feel good for people to try to put you down or to belittle you because maybe you look a certain way or you act a certain way or you carry yourself a certain way, or you dress a certain way. I mean, like to me, that's all elementary school stuff. It's all high school. If you still gotta like belittle people and put them down, that tells me that you are like still dealing with, trauma or something from being a kid that you haven't gotten over. That you gotta belittle people, that means that you think less of yourself on the inside. See, I don't have to belittle you. I don't have to put you down if I have confidence in me. If I know I'm doing what I need to do, I ain't got to put you down because I ain't worried about, first of all, I ain't worried about you to put you down. Next off, somebody that really is your friend and really care about you, really love you, really have your best interests at heart is going to try to make sure that they're uplifting you. They're going to make sure they're edifying you. They're going to make sure they're trying to build you up. That's a real friend. That's a real person that really loves you and really has your best interest at heart. So I don't like to deal with these type of folk. Okay? I don't deal with folk like that they got to put people down. Again, a little joking here and there is all cool. But if that's who they are, if that's their shtick, is that their comedy style that they think is funny? That's not. Especially when you get older. Like, You know, again, it's fun if you joking around with your little people and stuff. But if it's all the time, who are you? And are you really my friend? Next story. The car crash. Let's go to the next one. Ken Marsh or whatever. Ken Marsh. It's these weird names from Reddit or whatever. She was driving back to my house, speeding while it was raining, hydroplaned and overcorrected. No one's fault, right? Wrong. Somehow it was my fault, though I wasn't driving. The car was on its roof, but luckily we escaped with nothing more than glass in our hands, bruised knees, and a fractured wrist. She pleaded with me not to wear my prescribed wrist brace so that no one would know what happened. But obviously I had to. Long story short, we're no longer allowed to be friends because of the car accident. Don't this sound crazy? To me, this was like one of the simplest stories, but also one of the craziest stories to me. And the reason is like, I understand something will happen, and I understand that you might lash out because it was bad, you know, like you lashing out, but you're lashing out. Why? Because the bad thing happened. It happens. I've done it before. That's why I can say it. I'm not saying I do it. I'm saying I've done it before. I'm lashing out because in my head, I'm trying to rationalize everything. But when it comes to people getting injured, look, man, insurance gonna cover that, right? Unless this person had like a real bad history of driving. But this is explainable, right? You can hydroplane doing 35 miles an hour. That's not a big deal. Okay. But the point is, you're so embarrassed by having a car wreck that you don't want your friend to wear a protective wrist brace that they need. So you're not gonna be my friend no more when I'm injured. Like this one to me just didn't make sense. But this is the type of friend right here that is trying to keep up appearances. Okay. So you have people that don't mean you no good that's trying to keep up appearances. That's what that story tells me. All right. So if you got friends that you know, if you don't fit into what they want for things to look like. Next story. She had mental issues and would use me as her therapist. More than happy to do so, but I had issues of my own that she'd lightly brush off before turning it back to herself. She didn't seem to want to get better, but I did and have. I love and miss her, but not enough to talk anymore. Have you had those type of friends? I can guarantee you guys have had those type of people in your life. What type, you might ask? I'm about to tell you, okay? The type of people in that scenario is the type of people that, let's say you're having a conversation on the phone. When you haven't talked to your people in a while, or you talk to your friends, we all know the dance. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay. How you doing? I'm doing okay. And then, you know, like, it don't be okay. Well, let me tell you what happened to me last week. Okay, right? Overall, I'm doing okay. But what happens? You know, you talk about what you've gone through. And my lip is dry. Excuse me. You talk about what you've gone through, and they talk about what they've gone through. And as friends, you basically bounce off each other. Listen, if you can't express what's going on with you to your friends because they always want to talk about what's going on with them, have you had those type of friends in your life? That's what I'm talking about. The people that, like, it's all about my pain. Yeah, you're going through something, but let's go back to what I was talking about. Have you not had that before? Have you not seen that before? Have you not experienced that before? Have you not had friends that have gone through that before? Have you not seen people that's dealt with that before? Let's go back to the chat and see what's going on. Wanda says, please make it make sense. Shout out to Neil. I have a story to tell. Make sure y'all check out his channel. He also has a Make It Make Sense Friday. You might want to check that out. Wanda says, clearly it doesn't make any sense to want someone to hide an injury. That is a terrible person, ain't it? It's a terrible person that's willing to hide an injury. That's telling you to hide it because they just don't want to look bad. What kind of friend is that? Yeah. So listen, friends and family that we can trust and talk to. You know, people talk about going to therapy all the time. And you should, or you need the therapy. I totally agree with that. I had to go to therapy. I can admit that. I went to therapy. Now, as much as I would like it to have worked, I think it worked. I think it worked, but what I got out of it, I could have gotten out of it had my closest friends been available at that moment. Like if they could have consistently been there for me at that moment. Sometimes your people are going through their own stuff. Sometimes people are taking time to take care of themselves and you might find yourself alone. That happens to me a lot. I don't want my lips to look like old crackhead lip, dry, crusty, you know. But I live in the desert, so your lips get dry. So my lips dry up when the weather starts to change. The weather is starting to change, people. Starting to get all nice and cool outside. I like it too. I like cool weather. Okay. I don't like this heat out here, okay, in the desert. Okay. I don't like snow though. I'm done with snow. Snow was a kid's dream. Like once I lived in it for about 4 years, 5 years, whatever, I'm just done. Okay. Let's get back to the subject. What's the next one? We only got a couple more left, and then we're gonna actually start talking more about this stuff. So let's get here. All right. He liked me romantically. I did not like him back. After he told me his feelings, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I want to still be friends. Things were never the same. We were friends for a little while, but he was making subtle jabs at me. One day I called him out about being distant and kind of being a beep hole to me. And he basically told me that he doesn't want to be friends with females, which I think is BS. You shouldn't cut off half the population of the world out of the possibility of being your friend. This is a touchy subject, but let's touch it. Let's touch that fourth rail. I have probably just as many female friends as I do male friends. Okay? And just because they're my female friends doesn't mean I'm trying to get with them. Doesn't mean that either. Okay? I think that there becomes a point where you have to say to yourself, is having this person in my life more important than me wanting to get with them? If that answer is yes, then I believe, this is my opinion, everyone, then I believe that's when the beginnings of you know that you're starting to love that person. And what I mean is love is unselfish. It's supposed to be unselfish, right? But if you love someone enough, it might hurt that they're not with you, but you'd rather see them happy. When you can say, it might hurt like a son of you, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I've been waiting for a long time for us to be together. You know, you get that little, you know, that I'm trying to catch your breath crying. But girl, I just want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. Man, that's why I can't do no Tyrese crying on camera. I go ahead and do some Tyrese crying. It's gonna be pretty bad, okay? I'll be snotting and stuff. You can't be doing all that, okay? So, look, I believe men and women can be friends, and I think they can be great friends. I have great female friends. But I also understand this gentleman's point of view. If he's going to be friends with a female, he's going to want to get with them. That's what he's pretty much saying. And he's saying that, like, I don't want that type of friendship where I'm always wondering about getting with you. I can't be your friend in that capacity because I'm going to want to get with you. Now, some of you all out there have significant others. You all are married. You have someone in your life. And now it's when you start talking of another debate. See, I still believe that you can have female friends and still be married or with someone. However, let me put my disclaimer here. Obviously, if you're married or in a serious relationship, if you're just in a relationship, then yeah, I don't expect to hear from my friends because you're working on your relationship. The last thing you need in that relationship is me to be talking to you, okay, and messing up what you got, okay. The last thing you need, the last thing you need from me is to hear me or for me to be there and you're trying to make that thing go. You trying to like if it makes the other person jealous or not trust or whatever, I could say, well, that's on them. They should trust me. I'm your friend. But nah, I'm your friend. I want you to be happy. I want you to be with that person. I want you to find that love of your life. You can put me on the back burner. I'll hit you up for your birthday, say what's happening. Hey, how's old boy? How y'all doing? I even say hi to whatever to do. But then you ain't gonna hear from me for a little bit. And it's not because I don't love my friends or I don't, want to see them or be in their life. But if I care about that person, I want their relationship to flourish. See, that's love. That's real love. And this gentleman was saying, hey, I just don't want to be friend zoned. I want more. And you can't give that to me. Some people are like that. You can't get mad at a dude for that. Let's talk about see what's going on in the chat. Wanda says that he was very clear on what he wanted. As cruel as it sounds, he didn't want to be friends. He wanted X. Yeah. And you got to respect that, Wanda. Like, look, you got to respect that, though. If a dude straight up tell you that, don't, you know what? Women say that all the time. Women say, look, man, I just wish guys would tell me what they want so I can know what I'm dealing with. This dude made it completely clear that he did not want to be just her friend. He did not want to feel friend zoned. And so there is a look, I don't do that with all my female friends. Like I don't meet females and say, yeah, I'm okay with being friend zoned. Now I'm a single dude. So I'm going to tell you, I don't want to be friend zoned. So there are some women I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to be, I'm not going to be just your friend. I got enough friends. I do. I kind of feel like that guy in some respect, right? But there are some people that, over time you're like, well, this is where I'm at. We ain't got to hang out every day. I can still be your friend. I can still be cordial when I see you or whatever. But what's the worst is when you get treated like a piece of crap, because of the way you feel. Or because the way I feel, you act some type of way. Right? Like, okay, don't act some type of way because of that. I'm not going to be pushy on you, which I know some guys are. So if you are a guy and you listen to this, and you being pushy after she said she just want to be friends, either get out of there or accept it. But don't just keep beating that horse. Oh, it's going to happen one day. It's going to be my turn. If she didn't believe it in the beginning, she'll be settling later. Okay? Take that one to the bank. Neil says, I have a best friend who's a female, but my wife and I knew her before we got together. Okay. In that scenario, Neil, I'm going to tell you, I agree with that. But the thing is, you and that woman ain't on the phone talking every day. Y'all do y'all little catch up or you do a little message or two. But you ain't talking to her, gossiping and on the phone, and you all kick back and, yeah, girl, yeah, you remember that time when we had, like, no, you're not doing all that. You're being respectful of your relationship, and that's okay. But we're talking about people that's using you. So this woman should be happy that this guy made his intentions known so that he wouldn't just be lurking around, okay, lurking and creeping. All right. I don't know where that came from. And since I don't be disrespectful, like stand on the phone all night, etc. No, but sometimes you got to catch up. Neil, let me tell you a situation that happened with me and my ex. Okay, check this out. Me and my ex, she got to know my friends because I had nothing to hide from them. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: my ex felt she had to be friends with my previous exes or my friends, my female friends. I said previous exes, my female friends. Anybody I knew she had to be friends with. And not only just be friends with, she wanted to be the best of friends with. Now I talked to my mom about this. Mom coming with the info. Okay. Mom, like, that's a very insecure person. See, my ex had male friends And one, like I just saw a picture today. I was going through my computer and I saw a picture from back in the day with that dude. And look, the dude is a very dashing and debonair looking dude. Okay. Any lesser dude would have been, dare I say, intimidated. But let's just put it this way. He wasn't the only 6 foot plus lean, muscular black dude at the moment. Okay. I think I was holding my own pretty well back in the day. You hear what I'm saying? Okay. So I wasn't intimidated. I was okay with who I was. And sometimes you have to be okay with who you are in those scenarios. But you just don't be respectful to the person you're with and stuff like that. Monica says, you better not, partner. Neil says, exactly. Oh, you're right. Okay. All right. And I think I got one more left, y'all. Let's get to it real quick. Let me get that off the screen. And the last one. Okay. Mockingbird Soul recalls. On New Year's Eve 2015, my partner and I found out we had suffered a second miscarriage. That's devastating. I was 3 months along and we had already announced on social media. So I sadly had to unannounce. Look, I have friends that have recently gone through that, and it's really sad. That's a very difficult time. So I just want to paint that picture that here it is, you've had your heart set on this, and this was their second miscarriage. So now they tried again. This couple is really just going through it, okay? So I just want to paint that picture. Now let's finish. A few minutes later, my friend sent me a long message, which more or less said, hey, sorry you lost your baby. Don't worry, because it was in God's plan. First of all, let me stop right here. If you all are my friends out there, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I don't want to hear nothing about it's in God's plan. Nope, I don't need that as an excuse. Don't give me it's in his plan. I don't want to hear that. You say, what? Why wouldn't you want to? Like, it's true. Oh, I don't care if it's true or not. I don't want to hear that. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't function that way. I function in a way of this didn't work. I'm going to be in my feelings for a moment. And then I'm going to reassess and figure out how I'm going to go forward. Now, I can go scripture with y'all and tell you why I believe the way I do. He that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. Okay? So, I believe that the power within me to go forward is greater than saying it's just God's plan. I'm not putting that on God. Things happen. This scenario for this person isn't any different than it has for other people that have gone through the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe y'all don't. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not putting that on God. It's life, and that's part of life. And the beauty of life, and which is why we talk here about a sensational agenda, about motivating things, about going forward, living your best life. It's because that life that we have in us, we also have the ability to change it. We have the ability to grow from the pain and the suffering and move forward. But I want to get back to this story because I want to show you this type of person here. I want to definitely pinpoint this type of person. So they told them, by the way, I'm pregnant. I'm really worried. Can you tell me all the symptoms you had with your miscarriage so I'll know? How insensitive. Listen, I can't speak for women. I can only speak to what I've heard from the females that I know that are friends of mine that have had miscarriages. And even then, it doesn't speak for all women. But I'm going to try, if you will allow me, you all. But when this happens, you are crushed. Your soul is crushed for a moment. You are hurting. And all the well wishes, they help, kind of. You know, it's like if you lose somebody and they pass on, you may not hear all the well wishes when people are telling you. It's when you finally come back to your senses that you start to remember the people that was looking out for you. This woman didn't even get a chance to grieve. And here's this so-called friend telling her, I'm pregnant. Again, I'm not a woman. But if you just lost a baby and you haven't started grieving yet over the loss of that child through miscarriage, and then your friend says, hey, I'm pregnant. Bitch, I don't want to hear that. Again, I don't claim to be the woman whisperer, but that's the idea in the sense I got from the friends that I've talked to. Like, man, just be there for me right now. Stop thinking about yourself. Have you seen or heard those type of friends before? You have some devastatingly bad news, and then they come on with something that literally just puts salt in the wound of your pain. Look, those stories were just to highlight the type of people that you may run and come across in your life that will mean you no good, that will try to take advantage of you, that will manipulate you, okay? That don't have your best interest at heart. And I brought up these stories because they're all relatable. I brought up these stories because we can learn something from each and every one of these scenarios and situations about people, the types of people that will try to use and manipulate you. Now, the next part of this is, and I'm going to go through quickly because we kind of ran over. I didn't mean to go that long. But, you know, why people use other people. And I think it's important to be able to highlight and talk about that. The reason people use other people, you might, and this is just to get in your head, like you guys know why, but it's just good to get in your head just to know what you're dealing with. It may be that some people just aren't good people. The person that you think is your friend or your family or your coworker or the person you see to be jiving and getting along with, or that dealer that made you, that car dealership that made you feel like you were special. They just might not be good people. The other reason is they're selfish. They are selfish as a friend. They are selfish as a person. They only have their own best interest in mind. That is not love. That is not someone that is looking out for your best interests. We all have our moments where we are selfish. And I even promote a little bit of selfishness. I always talk about on the channel, you got to look out for yourself. You have to learn to love yourself. To love yourself and to learn to love yourself is to be selfish. But once you filled your cup up, only then will you be able to fully be able to help and fill someone else's cup. Unless it's not enough just to fill your cup. Because if you go to fill someone else's cup, you're going to take from yourself. What you need to find is something in your life, not someone, because you could be, I'm happy with my significant other, they make me happy. No, a person can't make you happy. You have to make you happy. You are the architect of your own happiness. So if you base it on a person, what if they let you down? Then you ain't happy no more? What if they having a bad day? You ain't gonna be happy in that moment? So you have to be the architect of your own happiness. So that moment of being selfish to work on yourself so that you can be your best self, so that you can live your best life is okay. People have unresolved trauma. I talked about going to therapy. It might require you to go ahead and go get your issues looked at. If you keep going through the same type of scenarios with your friends where maybe, you know, people are letting you down all the time and stuff like that, then you might have to look at yourself. Look at the way you select your friends. Maybe you are selecting people that aren't of the tribe that you're supposed to be a part of. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? What you give your friends doesn't help their character. Now, this could be on you, but it could be on them. If you're always being nice and sweet and doing what you can for other people that you call your friends and your family and your associates, and they're not reciprocating that back to you, if their character won't allow them to be better based on the love and the care and the dedication and the friendship that you are giving, then maybe this person wasn't meant to be your friend. Maybe they weren't really your friend in the first place. You give people no reason to earn your friendship. So this is where we start pointing the fingers back at ourselves. You give people a free pass all the time. You allow people to do certain things without checking them. So they don't have to earn your friendship. They don't have to earn your trust. They don't have to earn things. You just give them a blanket check, a blank check. You give that person a blank check in the friendship while they don't deposit anything into the account. So they just overdrawing. That's on you. And that's why I said the last point is you have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself at that point. Why do I keep bringing these type of people into my life? Now listen, there's a whole debate out there. I hear women and men bash each other all the time in the dating world. I'm just using this as an example, people. It's not where I want to go with this. But it's like, there are no good dudes out there. There are no good women out there. You've heard it before. Even if you don't know anybody going through that, you've seen it on TV. You've heard it. Why is that? If you say there's no good men out there or no good women, and you keep ending up with the jerks, the bad boys, the hot girls, and you keep finding yourself in situations where you're saying there's no good people, but you keep ending up with the same bad type of people, that's on you. It means that you are choosing those type of people into your life. People are so scared to spend that time alone to learn about themselves that they're willing to deal with people that don't mean them no good. There's a buddy of mine who texts me all the time. He's texted me recently about a girl he's seeing. And the girl he's seeing has a friend that sells and does drugs. Wait a minute, that's your friend? That's her friend? And his friend has been known to do bad things. You don't keep people around just for the sake of saying they're my friend and they're doing bad stuff. Do you hear me? Do not keep people around in your circle just for the sake of saying I'm not alone so that you could just have a friend. When you start to love yourself, you would rather be alone than have somebody that's going to mess up and destroy your program. Now, the last part of this is, what do? First thing you should do is confront them. If you got a problem with your relationships, your friendships, your associations, you go to that person and say, I don't appreciate this. It makes me feel this way. Now, I know that sounds like psychology speak, but it's actually true. And it took me a while to realize that's the one thing they get right in psychology class, or, when you go to talk to a psychologist. You have to address it because a person may not know. You might say this stuff to your friend and be like, I never knew you felt that way. I never knew I was doing that to you. Well, yeah, you have been. I thank you for coming to me about that. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Thank you for telling me. I'm going to work on that. See, that's a good friend. Or your friend could be like, well, you do this, that, that. Man, if your friend flipped the script, that might still be your friend. But if your friend can't take accountability for what they're doing, if they're doing something, or they might tell you something that you did that made them start doing that. Now you have to take accountability. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to take accountability for your actions and your relationships? Just saying. You can ignore them. Hey, I'm big on that one. They ain't no harm. I mean, like, listen, I just rather let you do your thing. If you're not gonna mean me no good, or you don't really care about my best interests or have my best interests at heart, I'd rather just ignore you. I'd rather you go on and do your own thing and I do my own thing. Because let me tell you, the program that I have ain't gonna stop just because a person ain't there. I've set up my life goals and purposes such that it wasn't dependent on who's in my life. Because people can let you down. Look, I might let you down because I'm going through something and maybe I'm being out of character. Now, a friend would ask me what's going on with you because something is obviously up with you. Something is going wrong because this ain't the way you normally is. Yo, I'm just kind of going through it right now. I'm sorry like that. Just might need a little time. Or, I just need a little help right now. I didn't know you was going through that. See what I'm saying? That's why you got to confront them and ask them and talk to them. And when you've done all that and they still don't mean you no good, then you ignore them. You let them go on. Maybe get back to them later after they're done going through what they're going through. Cut them off. That's the part of, if somebody's taking from you, they always borrowing from you, you got to cut that off. You got to cut that behavior off so they stop taking from you. Hey, let me get that $40, $50 off you real quick. Let me holler at you real quick. Let me get that money off. All right, baby, let me talk about that. Let me get that off you. All right? You did? Let me get that off you. Nah, you can't keep getting it off me. When you gonna pay me back? Move on from type of people. Move on from those type of people completely. This is the hardest one and the one that is done least. Moving on from those type of people. It might be tough to lose somebody that you've had in your life for a very long time. And maybe those people have been there through some of the toughest times in your life, and that may be tough. But sometimes people change and they are at a different point in their life and you are at a different point in your life. So, and if they're doing things and they're regressing and it's preventing you from progressing, then you might need to cut them off so that you can get to your purpose, so that you can live your best life. Sometimes you got to cut folk off. Last but not least, fix your own issues. If you keep allowing the type of people in your life that don't mean you no good, that's holding you back, that you feel is holding you back, or you got people in your life that you know they're no good, they're not good people, and you keep choosing them. You keep allowing these people to put their foot in the door. Bad friends, bad people, manipulative people are like vampires. If you invite them in, you got problems. I hope you got stakes and crosses and everything, holy water ready, okay? Because you got a fight on your hands. Dealing with people's demons, dealing with people's spirits, dealing with people's energies. You got a fight on your hands. Are you ready for it? Fix your own issues. Fix yourself. Learn to love yourself so you don't allow people that don't mean you no good in your life. If they don't bring light, if they don't bring enlightenment, they don't bring joy, they don't bring peace to you and your life and your family and your purpose and your deal, get them up out of there. They will burn your house down. They will burn your plans to the ground. And then, because misery loves company, see, I knew you wasn't going to be shit. And then they'll hit you and they'll stab you in the back. Right when you least expect it. Wanda says, "Yup, see you when I see you. Peace." And Martin used to say, "Peace." So yeah, you got to be okay with getting them out your life. Wanda, you're absolutely correct. You got to be okay with getting them up out of there. Because if they destroy your, let's say you really do love and care for them as a friend. Let's say that they really mean something to you in your life. If you can't do what you got to do to get yourself up out the ditch, then how are you going to be able to reach back down and help them out? If you messing around down there with them, while y'all messing around, none of y'all getting up out the ditch. None of y'all are getting up, rising up. If I rise up because my program is moving better without you, if you're slowing me down and I can go ahead and I can set provisions ahead, then maybe, just maybe, if this person is still working, you can reach back and help them out of their scenario and out of this situation. People like, look, I'm going to use LeBron James, for example. LeBron James got his boys that he brought up with him. Now, they were probably good dudes, but I'm saying they were given opportunities by LeBron being such a superstar that he is, that these dudes are running some major business, okay? These dudes got some serious names out there in the sports and Hollywood world. So if I go out and I handle my business, maybe I can reach back and help you. Maybe you just needed a chance out of your circumstances so that you could be a better you. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? Okay. Okay. You understand what I'm saying, people? All right. Look, this discussion here went a little longer than I wanted, but it's deep. You can go on and talk about this forever. So today we went through some examples. We went through some examples of types of people that you might come across that don't mean you no good, that's trying to bring down your program. That's only a few examples, but those cover the majority of the type of people. So look, most of you guys that was in the chat, you guys are trying to better yourself. You're trying to do something. You're trying to make moves. You're trying to shake. And the last thing you need is people that's going to hold back your program and hold you from being the best you. Clean house. Get them people up out of there. If you got people that ain't good for your program, get them up out of there. Set your house straight. Set yourself straight. And then maybe you can do what you need to do. And then you can go back and you can get them up out of their situation. I'm not saying you have to totally cut people off. It may not be warranted. You might just be able to have to say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Just still moving, doing what I'm doing." And last, for you creators out there, don't, like, some people you can let know your plans and some you can't. You tell people that, "Hey, I'm doing this," they ain't gonna support you. I got 2 people in the chat right now. None of them family members, probably. They don't support me on this. I'm not saying they don't support me at all. I'm just saying. Now, if this was to be a full-time podcast job and I was on the radio all the time, like, "Yeah, I knew that dude. I knew him. Hey, boy." See what I'm saying? But you weren't there during the grind. You weren't there during the struggle. You weren't there during the pain. You weren't there during the long nights, the nights that I lost sleep, the nights that I was up here editing all the way till 10 in the morning. Sometimes it be like that. Any comments, any questions that y'all want to leave, whatever like that, let me know right now in the chat. Any more thoughts that you guys have on this subject, I'd love to hear it right now. Let me tell y'all something real quick before, if you're listening to this pre-recorded or whatever, but I have, I'm going to be probably putting out a few more videos in the next couple of weeks just because I have a lot of ideas. I literally just finished editing a video last night that's ready to go. I don't know if I'm going to even air it until like next week, but it's still pertinent. It's still a good video. And then there'll be like a short clip of some of the stuff that we talked about here because I know that this subject is big and I know this subject will help people. Let me get to the chat real quick. Wanda says, Neil says, amen. And then Wanda says, "I really enjoyed this topic, Sean." Absolutely. And I hope that when people go to look at it again, that they get something from it. I got a little long-winded in some points. I apologize about that. This is a live stream, so you got to keep talking, right? So I'm ready for the podcast life. Ready for podcast life. That's what this is, though. Thank you, Wanda. I really appreciate y'all you all being here. But let me just put out a little news real quick. I have a so tomorrow I plan to put out another video for sensational fitness and wellness. All right. So there should be another video coming out for that. I'm gonna go to the gym now. And I don't like filming in the gym during the day when there's too many people around. I feel like I'm being vain. But I do have a show and I do need to be able to have some footage for that. But actually that one's not gonna be that hard. I have some old footage. Some old footage I want to use and burn so that I could show you some exercises I used to do. And I think that'll be very helpful. So I'm gonna try to do a video for that one tomorrow. I'm also working on like a new type of series here on the channel. Should be very motivational. It should be very good. If you like that Keanu Reeves video, you expect to see more stuff like that. I have an awesome video coming up on Friday about a homeless veteran that I'm going to talk about and a wonderful story that happened to him. So please stay tuned to the Sensational Gent. That video will be out on Friday. And then next week, I'm going to have a litany of videos coming out. So I probably might have a video damn near almost every day that week except Wednesday when we do the next live stream. I don't typically put out videos on Wednesday because the live stream is the video. Okay, so I have a lot coming up. I have a lot that I'm doing. I have a lot that I'm working on. And I don't plan to go anywhere because I got to save some money. So I've been trying to stay low key, but I just have a lot of stuff I'm working on. You guys, I hope you all love it. I've been wanting to work on this comedy video, but it's already written. Like I have like scripts written already. I got videos done, right? I got all kind of stuff in the works. So just stay tuned for that. Thank you all for the support, and I appreciate it. The other thing that I have here is got the Living My Best Life t-shirt. I also have a sweatshirt with this shirt. For this shirt, also there is also a women's shirt that's available as well for the Living My Best Life shirt. The link is in the description of this video. I believe I put it in there already. And if I didn't, I'll do it later. I'll do it after this video. So that link will be there, Living Your Best Life merch. Okay. And then I'm going to eventually be putting out more. I'm just putting this one out right now just so people can see it. So I want to say thank you to my guests here today. Thank you for the people that's in the chat. Wanda and Neil, thank you guys for hanging for the long haul. I didn't mean it to go this long, but it is what it is. And I also want to thank you, Wanda, for bringing in other people to at least come peek in on the chat, you know, and hopefully they got a little bit something from it before they took off. But I do appreciate the love and I do appreciate the support. Okay. So with that being said, live your best life.